Okay, so you're here with us because you want to get to the heart of things right.
Hmm.
Cut through all the noise and really understand a topic without getting bogged down in all the unnecessary details.
Exactly right.
And that's exactly what we aim to do today, folks. A deep dive into the fundamentals of financial strength.
And we've got some fascinating stuff to work with.
Yeah, some really valuable insights from the research we've been doing.
Really insightful stuff.
Really is. So our mission today is to unpack what it really means to be financially strong.
Beyond just like, dollars and cents.
Right. And more importantly, how you can build that strength for yourselves.
Practical strategies, sure.
Absolutely.
But also those kind of core principles, the foundational stuff that can really shift how we think about money.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly how we view it. So let me start with this. Have you ever stopped to consider what real financial strength looks and feels like? I mean, beyond just having money, you know?
That's a great place to start because it really is the key question, isn't it? Like, it's so easy to just fixate on having a big pile of cash. But the material we've been digging into suggests a much more nuanced picture.
Oh, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And it makes it clear right from the start that financial strength isn't just about the size of your bank account.
Not at all.
It's really more about a sense of control, like that feeling of being empowered to handle whatever financial challenges life throws your way and
Mhm.
having the freedom to make choices that align with your values and goals.
I love that freedom piece. That's powerful.
Yeah, it really is. And to break it down a little further, this source identifies 5 essential components that kind of work together to create true financial strength.
Oh, I'm all ears.
All right, so the first one, it's pretty straightforward but crucial. Consistently living within your means.
Yeah, I mean, that's the bedrock, isn't it?
It really is. If
Yeah.
you're spending more than you're bringing in, it creates this underlying instability that makes it so hard to build any real lasting security,
Makes sense.
no matter how much you're actually earning.
Right, right. It's about more than just the numbers.
Exactly. And then the second component, this one's all about peace of mind, having a solid emergency fund.
Ah, the safety net.
Yeah, and this isn't just some abstract idea. You know, the source really drives home the emotional benefit of knowing you have a financial buffer for those unexpected bumps in the road.
Yeah, totally. The what ifs of life.
Exactly. Job loss, unexpected medical expenses, car repairs, that surprise home repair you didn't see coming.
Mhm.
That emergency fund can really take the edge off.
Yeah, no kidding. It shifts things from panic to, okay, I can handle this.
Huge difference in that feeling of security, right? That's priceless.
It really is. It takes financial planning from this scary thing to something you can actually take control of.
I like that, take control of it. So that leads us naturally to the third component of financial strength,
Yeah.
being debt-free, or at least managing your debt strategically.
Okay, yeah, that can be a real drag.
For sure. And the material we're looking at calls out high-interest debt in
Uh-huh.
particular as a major obstacle.
Oh, yeah, especially credit cards and things like that.
Exactly like you're trying to move forward with this heavy weight holding you back.
Makes it so much harder to make any progress.
Definitely. And then we get to the fourth element, actively investing for your future.
Okay, so this isn't just about retirement way down the line, right?
Nope, not at all. It's about building long-term security and working towards those big life goals we all have.
Like buying a house, maybe starting a family,
Yeah, yeah, or supporting your kids' education.
or traveling the world.
Exactly, whatever's important to you.
Retirement too, of course, but it's not just about that.
Right, it's about having the financial resources to support the life you want to live. And what's really interesting is how all these components work together.
Totally. Like if you're managing debt, well, it frees up more to invest for the future.
Exactly. And the final component, the fifth one, it kind of ties everything together, having a sense of confidence and security in your financial decision making.
Ah, okay. So this isn't something you can just buy, right? It's a feeling.
It's that feeling of being in the driver's seat,
Mm.
understanding your finances and making informed choices.
And it's a direct result of those first four elements.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
we've talked about what financial strength looks like according to this material.
Right.
But now you're probably thinking, okay, that all makes sense, but how do I actually start building this for myself?
Right. Got to start somewhere.
Right. And luckily, this source gives us a really clear step-by-step approach, which is awesome for those of us who like a little structure.
I like structure. I'm all about it.
Me too, me too.
Yeah.
All right, so the first foundational step is all about tracking where your money's going
Yeah.
and then creating a budget based on that information.
Budget. That word sometimes makes people cringe.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But think of it as a tool for clarity, not restriction.
Okay. Yeah, I see that.
It's about understanding your spending habits so you can make conscious choices.
Not about deprivation, just awareness.
Exactly. And you know what often surprises people? how much those small everyday expenses can add up.
Oh, yeah. Little things here and there, you barely even think about them.
Exactly like that daily latte or those impulse buys at the checkout line.
Yeah, suddenly it's like, where'd all my money go?
Exactly. And that's why tracking is so powerful. It brings that awareness so you can decide where you want to adjust.
Makes sense. So once you have that clear picture of your spending, the next step is building that emergency fund we talked about.
Oh, yeah, that safety net.
Exactly. And the source suggests aiming for 3 to 6 months worth of essential living expenses.
That's a good rule of thumb.
Yeah, it's a buffer against those unexpected events life throws your way.
And it keeps you from having to make rash financial decisions when things get tough.
Prevents you from going into debt or selling investments at the wrong time just because you need cash fast.
Exactly. Okay, so once that emergency fund is in place, the next big thing is tackling high interest debt.
Okay, so we're talking credit cards mainly, right?
Yeah, credit cards, payday loan, anything with those really high interest rates.
Because that kind of debt, it can just snowball out of control so quickly.
Yeah, it can. And the material even touches on a couple strategies for tackling debt, the debt snowball and the debt avalanche.
Interesting. Okay, so snowball versus avalanche, what's the difference?
So the snowball method, you focus on paying off your smallest debts first.
Okay, so it's kind of like a psychological boost, right? Seeing those smaller debts disappear can keep you motivated.
Exactly. You get those quick wins, and then you build momentum from there. The avalanche method, on the other hand, is all about prioritizing the debts with the highest interest rates first.
Okay, so that's more about saving money in the long run, right? Paying less in interest overall.
Yeah, exactly. So which method is best really depends on what works for you and what keeps you motivated.
Makes sense. It's all about finding the right fit for your personality and your situation.
Exactly. All right, so now we get to what this source calls the golden rule of personal finance, consistently living below your means.
Ah, this is a big one.
It really is. And they're careful to emphasize that it's not about deprivation.
Right, it's not about living like a monk.
Nope. It's about being mindful and making conscious spending choices.
About breaking free from that, keep up with the Joneses mentality.
Totally. They call it lifestyle inflation.
Right, when you get a raise or a promotion and your spending just automatically goes up to match.
Exactly. And that's what we want to avoid. The key is to maintain that healthy gap between what you earn and what you spend.
And that's where real financial freedom comes in.
It really is. All right, so the fifth and final foundational step. This one's about building for the future, investing.
Ah, putting that money to work.
Exactly. And the source emphasizes starting early, even if it's with small amounts, because it's all about leveraging the power of compounding over time.
Yeah, that's where time really becomes your best friend.
It really does. They specifically mention things like employer-sponsored 401k plans and IRAs.
Those are great starting points for a lot of people.
Absolutely. And those 401ks, a lot of times your employer will even match a portion of your contributions.
Oh, yeah, that's free money, essentially.
It's definitely worth taking advantage of. And IRAs, those are individual retirement accounts you can set up yourself, even if you don't have access to a 401k through work.
Okay, so multiple options there for getting started with investing.
Exactly. So now that we've got those practical steps down, there's another really interesting angle this source digs into.
What's that?
Mindset, the mental and emotional side of financial strength.
Oh, that's fascinating. So much of this is about our relationship with money, isn't it?
It really is.
Mhm.
And this material makes a compelling case that your mindset is just as important as the numbers.
Okay. Yeah, so it's not just about budgets and spreadsheets.
Right. It's about the underlying beliefs and perspectives that shape our financial behaviors.
So like our money personality.
Yeah, exactly. And they highlight 3 key shifts in mindset that can really make a difference.
Okay, lay 'em on me.
All right, so the first one is cultivating a long-term perspective.
Okay. Yeah, that can be tough in our instant gratification world.
It can, but building lasting financial strength, it takes a vision that extends beyond the here and now.
It's about playing the long game.
Exactly. And the source encourages you to ask yourself a really powerful question before making a financial decision.
What's that?
Will this bring me closer to my long-term goals? Or will it potentially set me back?
Oh, I like that. Simple but powerful.
Yeah, it's about aligning your actions with your bigger vision. And speaking of that vision, what are some of your most important long-term goals?
Yeah, it's worth taking a minute to really think about that because it can be so motivating.
For sure. Okay, so the second mindset shift is all about embracing delayed gratification.
This is a tough one for a lot of people.
I know me included sometimes.
That instant gratification, it's everywhere these days.
It really is. But this source gives a really great example. Think about that daily latte, right?
Okay, yeah.
What if you consciously chose to skip it just a couple of times a week and invested that money instead?
Small sacrifice, potentially big rewards later on.
Exactly. It might seem insignificant in the moment, but over time, those consistent small choices, they can add up.
Yeah, it's about seeing the bigger picture.
Definitely. And then the third key mindset shift. This one's about focusing on what you can control.
Okay, so tuning out the noise.
In a way, yeah, because there's so much we can't control, right?
Oh, yeah, the economy, the stock market, all
Yeah.
that.
Right. And the source wisely advises us to focus our energy on the things we can actually influence.
Like our spending habits and our savings rate.
Exactly. Our investment choices, too.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
those things are within our control.
Okay, so shift the focus from worrying about what you can't control to taking action on what you can.
I love that. All right, so we've covered the foundational steps, the essential mindset shifts, and now the material takes us into some more advanced strategies.
Okay, so this is for folks who want to level up their financial game.
Exactly. So the first advanced strategy is diversifying your income streams.
Okay, yeah. This is a popular one these days, the whole multiple income streams thing.
It is, and for good reason. The source makes a really strong argument for not relying on just one source of income.
Makes you more resilient, right?
Exactly. If one income stream dries up, you've got others to fall back on.
And it can accelerate your wealth building too.
Absolutely. And they give some really interesting examples like exploring side hustles aligned with your skill.
Yeah, or interests too.
Right. Or maybe dipping your toes into real estate investing.
Oh, or building passive income streams like dividends from investments or royalties from creative work.
So many possibilities.
It's really about getting creative and thinking outside the box.
Totally.
You know?
Okay, so the second advanced strategy is maximizing your earning potential.
Okay, so this is all about investing in yourself.
Exactly. Your skills, your knowledge, your experience, those are all valuable assets.
It's about upping your value in the marketplace.
Yeah, whether that's through learning new skills, getting certifications, or pursuing further education.
It's about opening up new opportunities.
Absolutely. And the third advanced strategy, this one's all about optimizing your taxes.
Okay. Taxes, not the most exciting topic.
I know. But it can have a huge impact on your overall financial well-being.
Yeah, a dollar saved in taxes is a dollar earned, as they say.
Exactly. So it's about understanding things like tax advantage investment accounts and legitimate ways to minimize your tax burden.
I mean, the tax code, it's so complicated.
It is. It really is. And the source actually suggests that this might be a good area to seek guidance from a professional.
Yeah, it makes sense, a financial advisor or a tax
Definitely.
professional.
They can help you make sure you're taking advantage of all the opportunities available.
Okay, good advice. And the final advanced strategy, protecting your wealth through insurance.
Insurance, not always the most fun to talk about.
But so important.
It really is. It's about safeguarding all the financial progress you've made.
Protecting yourself from the unexpected.
Exactly. And the source emphasizes having the right types and levels of coverage.
Health insurance, life insurance if you have dependents.
Right. Disability insurance to protect your income, homeowners, or renters insurance.
Be so many different types.
Yeah, it's about creating that safety net. So one unfortunate event doesn't derail your entire financial plan.
It really does provide that peace of mind knowing you're covered.
All right, so we've explored the foundational steps, the mindset shifts, and some advanced strategies for growth. But as this source points out, building lasting financial strength, it's a journey, not a destination.
Right. It's not a one-time fix. It's an ongoing process.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do we stay on track for the long haul? Well, luckily, the source gives us 4 really practical tips.
Okay, I'm ready for them.
All right, so the first one, this goes back to that long-term perspective. We talked about setting clear and specific financial goals.
Okay, yeah, having those targets in mind makes a big difference.
It does. It gives you direction. It keeps you motivated.
It's like having a roadmap for your finances.
Exactly. Without clear goals, it's easy to get sidetracked or discouraged.
And it's so easy to just drift along without a clear sense of purpose.
So true. So what are some of your most important financial goals right now?
Yeah, it's worth taking some time to really define those, write them down, make them real.
It's a powerful exercise. Okay, so the second tip is to regularly review your financial progress.
Okay, so checking in on your budget and your investments and all that.
Exactly. The source suggests doing this monthly.
Monthly, that's a good frequency.
Yeah, it helps you stay on top of things, catch any potential issues early on, and make adjustments as needed.
It's about being proactive instead of reactive.
Exactly. And this regular review, it leads naturally into the third tip, celebrating your financial milestones.
Okay, yeah. We got to celebrate the wins along the way.
Absolutely. Big or small, Those wins, they keep you motivated and reinforce those positive financial behaviors.
It's so easy to just focus on what we haven't achieved yet.
So true. So take the time to acknowledge and celebrate those milestones you're hitting.
It's a great way to stay positive and keep that momentum going.
Definitely. All right, and the fourth and final tip, this one's all about continuous learning.
So stay curious about personal finance.
Exactly, because the financial landscape, it's constantly changing.
New strategies, new tools, new information all the time.
Right, so seek out those valuable resources, read books, listen to podcasts like this one.
Yeah, and stay informed about new trends and opportunities.
Exactly. All right, so as we wrap up this deep dive, what would you say is the biggest takeaway for our listeners?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is this. Achieving true financial strength. It's absolutely possible for anyone.
I agree, it's not some elite club, it's within reach for all of us.
It's about taking those consistent steps, building those good habits, and cultivating that empowered mindset.
And the source emphasizes progress over perfection, which is so important.
Yeah, it's not about getting everything right all the time.
It's about making those positive changes and moving in the right direction.
And this deep dive, hopefully it's given our listeners a solid foundation to start building that financial strength.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
So as you go about your day, consider this. How could implementing even just one or two of the strategies we talked about today shift your sense of financial control? And which aspect of financial strength resonates most strongly with you right now? Maybe take some time to reflect on that. And most importantly, remember to keep learning, keep growing, and keep moving forward on your financial journey.
Well said.
Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
That's it for this deep dive. See you next time.
See you later.